Good morning, everybody. Fossil Bill here. I have arrived at Dry Creek. This time I am actually at Dry Creek. It turns out last time I did a trip to Dry Creek, we actually ended up at the Wind River. And here is Dry Creek. And as you can see, this time of year, it is literally a dry creek. No water. Absolutely no water. So, this is Dry Creek. We did pretty good last time for not being at the right place for hunting. So I'm gonna get to hunting around and poking around. Already I just spotted this little guy. This little agate here. Just spotted that guy while I was on the video here. Nice little piece of agate. Or chalcedony. Doesn't have banding. Nice and translucent. Before I started recording, I found a nice big chunk of volcanic basalt with massive quartz running through it. So far, I'm doing pretty good. There's all sorts of stuff here. Different colors of rocks. There's some sparkly ones. There's some with zeolites in them. There's some basalt with pockets in it. All sorts of rocks with veining and banding and some sparkly crystals. So I'll just see what I can find. And if I find something really spectacular, I will let you know. So, here we go. The hunt begins now. Well, actually, it's already started. I just picked up this nice little piece of jasper agate combination here. Got some translucent zones to it. Nice bubbly looks to it. This is wet, of course. Dry, I just saw the fracturing. So that's a nice little piece. The hunt goes on. Okay, peeps, believe it or not, that's a hole. I saw this little tip sticking out, and this is what it is. It's a big chunk of agate. I just had a feeling it might be something. I'm going to go back to the bucket, which is over there. That's where my water bottle is, and I'll rinse it off, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, it's either jasper or agate or one of the two combined. But it is really pretty. Lots going on in it. Looks like it has some dendrites. I'll take a picture with the light up to it when I get home. Unfortunately, I can't do that while I have one hand on the phone and one hand on the rock. I can hold it up. You can see it's a little bit translucent at the edge. But we'll get a better idea when I can hold a bright flashlight behind it, or up to it. So there we go. Really nice chunk. So I just found this. Oh, there we go. Nice chunk of petrified wood. Nice heavily silicified. It was dry. This piece here where it chipped is sparkly. So yeah, finding some good stuff. Just working my way downstream here to where it meets the Wind River. Picking up whatever I find on the way. Looks like there's a piece of jasper over there. A nice conchoidal fracturing, but it's a bit pockety, a little porous. Oh well. Still cool stuff. Can't lose track of my petrified wood though. Get that in the bucket. So there we go. Just working my way along. Keeping an eye on the bank. Seeing if there's anything poking out. Checking around the fallen logs and trees. The hunt continues. Good morning, everybody. This is my follow-up from my trip to Dry Creek the other day. So I have some different things here. I'll start off with the big stuff. First of all, I picked up a garden rock. Got some small quartz crystals in it. Let's see if I can get my camera to zoom in here. Just small druzy quartz crystals. And this rock has quite a bit of quartz running through it. Also has a little quartz crystal pocket down there. The other rocks here, this is the piece of petrified wood that I picked up. You can see the grain going down through it. And you can see it's heavily silicified. Kind of sparkly where it broke off. I'm thinking it's petrified wood. I'm not 100% sure. This looked like one of those pieces of picture rock that I see at the site, but I wasn't 100% sure. I usually just leave them. But this one looks like it has zeolite crystals attached to it, so I picked it up. And I picked this piece of quartz up. I'm going to break it up into a couple of pieces, and you can see it'll probably break up really nicely. Kind of got that angular cut into it, or break into it, and put the pieces into the tumbler. Now, these can have quartz going into them. They can have agate going into them, like this piece here. I will shine a light into this one in just a moment. I don't have a flashlight on me to shine into it, but it is translucent, whereas this material is translucent, but it's white. This is translucent and has banding to it. You can see the banding in one of those fractures there, right there. Pardon my fingernails. They needed trim, and I just realized that as I put it on camera. So the intrusions into these rocks can usually be classified as quartz, which is milky, agate, which is translucent. Sometimes there's thompsonite, which is other colors. Like this is pink. That's thompsonite and basalt, amygdaloidal basalt. And sometimes you can find jasper veining through these too, but I have not found that personally. Now, these are the chunks of jasper that I found. This was the iceberg that I found that was sticking out of the wall, only about, I think it was this tip here. Only about that much was sticking out, and I said that looked to myself that it looked like something, and I worked it out and wiggled it loose, and it turned out to be this huge, well, huge to me, chunk of pretty nice looking material, all really colorful, and creams and browns and some blacks and dendrites and almost reddish zones in it, and some greenish areas too. So I was quite happy with that. I found these smaller pieces, which are similar, but just have a bunch of browns and creams and black colors in it, and some reddish tones, some banding almost in them. But one of the interesting things about what I'm finding in the area is it's all basically quartz material. The jasper and the quartz and the agate is all basically quartz of one sort or another. It's all just in how it forms. Jasper is basically cryptocrystalline quartz that forms in a void that's filled with mud. This is a really interesting piece because it seems to have some sort of submetallic mineral in it as well. Kind of a bubbly intrusion there into the normal jasper mineral. It has that like submetallic gleam to it. So I'm going to have that identified by one of my friends at one of the Mineral Club meetings. But yeah, with jasper, the cryptocrystalline quartz fills in where there's already mud in a void. The quartz has more time and fills in with larger crystals. And the agate fills in quickly, but with cryptocrystalline quartz crystals where it's empty and there's a void there. So it has the translucency, whereas the cryptocrystalline quartz that makes up the jasper is so thick with mud that it's not translucent. So what people are calling jasp agate or jasper agate is basically a combination of basically areas that were thick with mud and then areas that didn't have so much mud and have some translucency to them. But it's all cryptocrystalline quartz. And of course, quartz crystals are not specifically cryptocrystalline quartz. They are just, what do you call that? They're bigger crystals. They had more time to grow. They were in a different environment. I'm not going to talk about what environment specifically because I'm not that knowledgeable about it, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and not take guesses. But I will say it was a different type of environment and just more time was needed to grow the larger crystals. Because I do know those things for certain. Now, I will go get a light and show off how translucent this piece of quartz in rock is. Now, this was formed inside the rock. You can see it runs down into it. comes out the bottom in areas, but it's mostly present down at this end of the rock. So I will go get the flashlight right now, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got my flashlight, and here we go. I'm going to turn off the light on my camera, and as you can see, it is actually quite translucent. And the quartz is not nearly as translucent as the agate is. Because the agate doesn't technically have crystal walls as barriers to break up the light, the quartz does. Now this big chunk in the back, I'm going to see if I can get it slabbed, if it'll hold up for slabbing, because I know that the matrix from the other river that we ended up in when we went to find Dry Creek before, me and Kendra and I, did take a nice polish in the tumbler, so I know the matrix will tumble polish, so I know it'll take a polish, so I might want to try to cut some cabs out of that. It might look really nice and spiderwebby. Now here's my small pieces. I tried not to collect such small pieces this time as I did the last time, because I know the really small ones that I had that I put in the tumbler just disappeared. But here's my best two pieces from the trip. And here's a piece of seam agate that I found. Once again, I apologize for the condition of my fingernails. Been out digging rocks and working with rocks, you know, it's part of the territory. But I'll zoom in so I don't get it out of focus. It's got a little quartz seam in the middle, but it's got some beautiful banding. Quartz crystals in the middle, and a minimal amount of matrix on it. And this was just laying on the surface waiting for someone to pick it up. And another piece of seam agate with, oh yeah, and it's kind of bluish in person. I don't know if it really picks up in the video. It probably looks a bit whitish, but it's blue in sunlight. This one actually looks blue in the video, so that's another piece of seam agate. Without banding, agate is commonly referred to as chalcedony, but if it has the bands present, it's known as agate or fortification agate. But there we go. It's technically the same thing, cryptocrystalline quartz. But those are my finds for the trip. I came out with the limit on rocks, which is 25 pounds. So I did well. And to haul these back, my bucket was rather heavy and hard to haul back, so I put all these big chunks in my backpack and made the bucket lighter and easier to carry. It's much easier to carry heavy rocks in a backpack than it is to carry them out in a plastic handled bucket. So that's that. Well, there we go. There's the follow-up from the trip. Hope you enjoyed the trip footage, and I actually found the right site this time. So, there we go. There we have it. And this was about 3 hours of hunting. And it's about a half-mile hike in, and of course about a half-mile hike back out. So, have a great rest of your day, and keep rocking.